The icy waters of the Baltic Sea have long been a region of strategic importance. The potential accession of Sweden and Finland into NATO represents a tectonic shift in the regional balance of power. This move, driven by the changing security landscape of Europe, has profound implications for the future of international relations. Sweden and Finland, once content with their non-aligned status, now find themselves drawn towards the collective defense guarantees offered by NATO. This potential expansion of NATO is not merely a regional issue, it has global ramifications, impacting the dynamics between major powers. Join us as we explore the new frontier of Nordic security and its impact on the world stage. To understand the significance of NATO's potential enlargement, we must first journey back in time. Conceived as a bulwark against Soviet expansionism, NATO united democratic nations across the Atlantic in a collective defense pact. With the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989 and the subsequent collapse of the Soviet Union, NATO faced a pivotal moment. The potential inclusion of Sweden and Finland marks a significant expansion of the alliance's reach and underscores its continued relevance in a rapidly changing security environment. As the Iron Curtain descended across Europe, Sweden and Finland found themselves in a precarious geopolitical position. Finland, sharing a vast border with the Soviet Union, adopted a policy of active neutrality, balancing its relationships with both East and West. Sweden, geographically more distant from the immediate threat of Soviet power, cultivated a similar stance of armed neutrality. The legacy of the Cold War continues to shape the strategic outlook of Sweden and Finland, influencing their cautious approach to NATO membership. The end of the Cold War brought about a period of optimism and transformation in Europe. For Sweden and Finland, the collapse of the Soviet threat prompted a re-evaluation of their long-held policies of neutrality. However, the question of NATO membership remained a sensitive issue, subject to intense domestic debate and careful consideration. For Sweden and Finland, the question was not simply about military alliances, but about their place in the world and their vision for the future. The geopolitical landscape of Europe shifted dramatically in 2014 with the Russian annexation of Crimea. For Sweden and Finland, the crisis in Ukraine served as a stark reminder of their own vulnerability. Public opinion, once skeptical of NATO membership, began to shift. As the security situation deteriorated, the road to NATO was paved with careful deliberation, driven by a sober assessment of the evolving security environment. Sweden and Finland, though historically non-aligned, have long understood the importance of international cooperation for their security. Both nations have maintained close ties with NATO throughout the post-Cold War era, engaging in a wide range of partnership programs. Sweden and Finland have actively participated in NATO's Partnership for Peace (PFP) program since the mid-1990s. Their long history of partnership with the alliance has paved the way for a smooth transition to full membership, should they choose to take that step. The prospect of NATO membership holds significant security benefits for both Sweden and Finland. Joining the alliance would provide them with the collective defense guarantees enshrined in Article 5 of the Washington Treaty. This commitment to mutual defense has been a cornerstone of NATO's success in deterring aggression and maintaining peace in Europe. NATO membership would signal to the world Sweden and Finland's unwavering commitment to Western values and their determination to stand with their democratic partners. The potential accession of Sweden and Finland to NATO has been met with strong opposition from Russia. Moscow views NATO enlargement as a direct threat to its security interests and has repeatedly warned of serious military and political consequences. Russia's opposition to NATO expansion stems from its belief that the alliance is a relic of the Cold War, designed to contain Russian influence. In response to Sweden and Finland's potential NATO membership, Russia has threatened to deploy additional military forces to its western borders. The question of NATO membership has sparked intense debate within both Sweden and Finland. Public opinion, once firmly opposed to joining the alliance, has shifted significantly in recent years. However, despite the growing support for NATO membership, there remain significant pockets of opposition. The debate over NATO membership is not simply about military alliances, but also about national identity and foreign policy principles. The potential accession of Sweden and Finland to NATO has significant implications for the Baltic Sea region. The addition of Sweden and Finland to NATO would further bolster the alliance's presence in the Baltic Sea region. However, this increased NATO presence could also be perceived by Russia as a provocation, potentially leading to a more assertive Russian military posture. Both sides must engage in dialogue to manage tensions and prevent unintended escalation. While public opinion in both Sweden and Finland has shifted in favor of NATO membership, significant internal divisions remain. In Sweden, the issue of NATO membership has reignited a long-standing debate about the country's tradition of neutrality. In Finland, the debate is less about neutrality and more about managing relations with Russia. These internal divisions highlight the complexities of the NATO membership debate and the broader implications for national identity and foreign policy. The potential accession of Sweden and Finland to NATO poses significant challenges for managing relations with Russia. Moscow has made clear its opposition to NATO enlargement, viewing it as a direct threat to its security interests. Navigating this complex geopolitical landscape will require careful diplomacy, a willingness to address Russia's concerns, and a commitment to maintaining dialogue. One of the primary challenges will be to reassure Russia that NATO expansion is not directed against it. NATO has repeatedly emphasized that the alliance is defensive in nature and poses no threat to Russia. However, Moscow remains skeptical of these assurances, pointing to NATO's military presence near its borders and its intervention in countries like Libya as evidence of its aggressive intentions. Another challenge will be to address Russia's legitimate security concerns. Russia has expressed concerns about NATO's missile defense system, which it sees as undermining its strategic deterrent. NATO has maintained that the missile defense system is purely defensive and is not aimed at Russia. However, finding ways to address Russia's concerns without compromising NATO's security commitments will be crucial for easing tensions. Maintaining open channels of communication with Russia will be essential for managing disagreements and preventing misunderstandings. Dialogue mechanisms such as the NATO-Russia Council can provide a forum for discussing concerns, exploring areas of common ground, and reducing the risk of miscalculation and escalation. The potential accession of Sweden and Finland to NATO has been met with overwhelming support from most NATO member states. The United States, the United Kingdom, and other leading NATO powers have publicly welcomed the prospect of Swedish and Finnish membership, viewing it as a strategic boon for the alliance and a testament to the enduring strength of transatlantic security ties. The United States, as NATO's leading member, has been particularly vocal in its support for Swedish and Finnish accession. The Biden administration has pledged to work closely with both countries to facilitate their swift and smooth integration into the alliance. This support reflects the United States' long-standing commitment to European security and its recognition of the strategic importance of the Baltic Sea region. The United Kingdom, another key NATO member, has also expressed strong support for Swedish and Finnish membership. The UK government has emphasised the shared values and interests that bind the UK with Sweden and Finland, highlighting their commitment to democracy, human rights, and the rules-based international order. The UK has also pledged to provide security assurances to Sweden and Finland during the interim period before their formal accession to NATO. This chorus of support from leading NATO members reflects a broader recognition within the alliance that the accession of Sweden and Finland would significantly enhance NATO's collective defence capabilities and deter potential aggression in the Baltic Sea region. The addition of these two strategically located and militarily capable nations would strengthen NATO's deterrence posture and send a clear message of resolve to any potential adversaries. While the prospect of Swedish and Finnish membership in NATO has garnered widespread support within the alliance, some dissenting voices have emerged, revealing potential cracks in NATO's united front. Turkey, a NATO member with a history of complex relations with both Sweden and Finland, has expressed reservations about their accession, citing concerns over their alleged support for Kurdish separatist groups and their arms export policies. Turkey has accused Sweden and Finland of providing safe haven to members of the Kurdistan Workers' Party, or PKK, which Turkey, the United States, and the European Union designate as a terrorist organization. Ankara has also criticized Sweden and Finland for imposing arms export restrictions on Turkey following its military operations in Syria. Turkey has demanded that Sweden and Finland address these concerns before it would consider supporting their NATO bids. This diplomatic standoff has exposed the challenges of maintaining unity within a large and diverse alliance like NATO, particularly when dealing with sensitive political issues. Turkey's stance has also highlighted the leverage that individual member states can wield within the alliance, as any decision on NATO enlargement requires unanimous consent from all members. The negotiations between Turkey, Sweden and Finland have been delicate and protracted, involving high-level diplomatic efforts to find a compromise that addresses Turkey's concerns while paving the way for the Nordic countries' accession to NATO. The outcome of these negotiations will have significant implications for the future of NATO enlargement and the alliance's ability to maintain a united front in the face of evolving security challenges. The potential accession of Sweden and Finland to NATO extends beyond the realm of military security, encompassing significant economic and strategic dimensions that have the potential to reshape the geopolitical landscape of Northern Europe and beyond. The integration of these two technologically advanced and economically prosperous nations into NATO would not only bolster the alliance's military capabilities but also enhance its economic and technological prowess. Sweden and Finland are both high-income economies with strong technological sectors, particularly in areas such as telecommunications, defense and renewable energy. Their accession to NATO would provide the alliance with access to their technological expertise and industrial capabilities, enhancing NATO's ability to develop and deploy advanced military technologies. Moreover, Sweden and Finland's geographic location would give NATO greater control over the Baltic Sea region, a strategically important waterway for trade and energy transportation. This enhanced control would strengthen NATO's ability to deter potential threats to its members' economic interests and energy security. Furthermore, the accession of Sweden and Finland to NATO would likely lead to increased defense spending by both countries, as they would be expected to meet NATO's target of spending 2% of their GDP on defense. This increased defense spending could create economic opportunities for defense contractors in other NATO member states. The economic and strategic implications of Swedish and Finnish NATO membership extend beyond the immediate region, potentially impacting global trade patterns, energy security, and the balance of power between major powers. The integration of these two Nordic nations into NATO would be a significant geopolitical development with far-reaching consequences for the international system. The potential integration of Sweden and Finland into NATO marks a pivotal moment in the history of the Baltic Sea region. Driven by a shared assessment of the evolving threat landscape, particularly in the wake of Russia's actions in Ukraine. This strategic shift reflects a recognition that security in the 21st century demands collective action. The journey towards NATO membership for Sweden and Finland has been marked by careful deliberation and internal debate. Both nations have demonstrated a commitment to addressing the concerns of all stakeholders. The potential rewards of membership include enhanced security guarantees and deeper military cooperation. The accession of Sweden and Finland to NATO would represent a major setback for Russia's ambitions. It would demonstrate the enduring appeal of the transatlantic alliance and its ability to adapt to changing security dynamics. Moreover, it would send a powerful message of deterrence to Moscow. As Sweden and Finland stand poised on the brink of a new era in their security postures, the world watches closely. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more interesting content.